Hi Richard, thank you for having us in Sonas Bathrooms.
You're very welcome, Gwen.
I would love to know a bit about Sonas Bathrooms. I know they have quite a long history in bathrooms, so can you tell me about that?
Sonas Bathrooms is a manufacturer and supplier of bathroom products. We supply our product to over 400 retailers across the country, north and south of Ireland. So the showroom here has been designed for consumers to come and visit, touch, feel, compare all the different product solutions that we have, and then they can buy that product through a local retailer in their locality, wherever they're based around the country. So we have over 80 staff here employed in Sonas Bathrooms, and the big benefit for Sonas is that we carry all of our products in stock. So we have a significant warehouse here on site, and all the products that are available in the range we have in stock for delivery next day to the retailer.
So does that mean all the clients can wait until the last second to make their decisions?
It is a key advantage for Sonas is that we carry the range in stock. However, it's good, I suppose, practice to have your bathroom well planned out, secure the product that you require before your trade people arrive on site, just to avoid any kind of frustrations or delays.
And I'm smirking because I know as well that you're going to have certain high level decisions made before you actually come to the showroom and go, I want that wall hung vanity unit there.
Yeah, the challenge for a consumer is that it's not a bathroom is not something they do every week. So it may be 10, 15, 20 years by the time somebody refurbs a bathroom. So it can be a bit of a daunting experience. So a few things that we would say to people when they come to the showroom: it's very important to have an existing layout of your current bathroom and potentially a proposed layout of what the future bathroom is going to look like. Dimensions are really important because there's so many different sizes. You know, how long is a piece of string? We've got products that fit every size bathroom, from luxury all the way down to compact. Having a good idea of likes and dislikes is really important as well, because we've such a vast range and there's so many possibilities when it comes to designing a bathroom. If you've got some sort of pre idea as to the things you like and don't like, it can kind of help us narrow down that focus. If there's any special requirements for the bathroom, again, really important. So again, think about future proofing, think about if there's any mobility issues. So again, we can tailor the specification to suit your needs. And of course, budget is helpful. I always advise people, and I know it sounds easy to say, but don't worry too much about the cost of the product to begin with. Let's try and focus on what you want, and then once we have it all specced out and you see what the estimates will be, we can then tailor to suit your budget requirements. And we have a product at every different price point, so that would be easy for Sonas to do.
We touched about a wall hung vanity unit there. What's the benefits of this then?
Well,
so I'm going to take from the design point of view, the fact that people can see under the vanity unit, it gives the illusion of more space.
Yeah.
But from an interior practical point of view, what's the benefits of that?
Well, again, you've touched on it from a visual point of view. It's a very attractive product. The fact that it's floating on the wall, it gives a greater visual appearance of more space in the bathroom. Obviously, from a hygiene and maintenance point of view, when you're mopping floors, it's very easy to get the mop under the product and it's not going to touch the material. The main thing to consider when it comes to wall hung furniture, and this would be, I suppose, some universal advice that I would give clients, is high level decisions should be made early in the process. And what I mean by that is, often people will come with a kind of a visual requirement for, say for example, a wall hung vanity unit. But the wall that they're going to position it on has to have sufficient supports inside the wall to be able to take the weight of the product. So if it's a solid wall, that's absolutely fine, and the installer and the trades will chase in the pipework. But if it's an internal cavity wall, for example, you would have to put, at the first fix stage, before the plasterboard even goes onto the wall, you would have to put in what we call grounds. A piece of 4x2 goes in between the uprights, and that actually provides the stability and structure to screw the unit to. So this is a trend that's become quite popular actually, and this is what we call a niche. So again, this is a kind of a first fix decision where the builder will actually cut a section out in the wall before it's tiled, and it gives you a storage facility within the confines of the shower, and it can actually look really attractive. As you can see here, we've laid it out with a selection of bathroom products. So that's something that, again, you need to communicate that early.
And I would always say to clients as well to measure their products, because some products are quite big, and again, the builder doesn't mind what size niche there is, but if you don't tell him what height your product is or the depth of it, he won't know, and he won't give it. The rain head drencher then, just to point out, does that, doesn't it? It kind of acts like a watering can, we'll say. It gives that lovely soft rain feel.
Yeah.
So I know some people put them in and think, this is a massive shower head, it's going to take the skin off my back and I'm going to be delighted. But that's not what happens, is it?
I suppose there's a couple of parameters that need to be considered when it comes to shower heads. One is how much pressure do you have. So again, if you're buying a pump, you know, there's different options from 1 bar, well, 1.5 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar. The bigger the pump, the more force and pressure it's going to deliver, so that will obviously increase your flow rates. But when you're selecting, you know, the rain head versus the hand shower, in our experience, the larger the surface area of the shower head, it's more volume as opposed to power.
Okay.
Whereas on a smaller shower head, it's more concentrated. So again, going back to the example we showed here, and it's also available in this application, when you have 2 head options, you can toggle from having the drench experience to the power shower experience.
Okay, so I can have either or. And these are body jets, are they?
Yeah, so this application here, what we're trying to illustrate is that you have, when it comes to showering products themselves, we mentioned about the exposed product back across in the previous display. This is what we call a built-in shower valve. And a built-in shower valve gives you a bit more flexibility in terms of designing the configuration of how it's all going to be laid out. So the valve in a built-in situation is actually the product that does all the work is basically inside the wall, pre-plasterboard, pre-tiling, and then the finishing trim kit goes on surface mounted onto the finished tile. And then you have the option of, you know, different controls. So in this application here, we have a built-in valve that has a fixed head, which you can have running from the ceiling or you can have running from the wall. And we have a hand shower, but it also has the option to operate what we call these body jets here as well. So we've just put 2 in for the purpose of display. Of course, the client can decide to put in, as you know, maybe up to 6 if they wish, and put them in different positions, and they would essentially all run at the same time. So the shower itself has different diverters involved, so you can operate this outlet.
And what about kids getting into that then and actually kind of turning it on too hot and getting burnt or something like that?
Okay, so for the vast majority of the showers that we sell, they come with a thermostatic mixing valve built in, so that's a safety feature for all users of the shower, whether you're young or old, and that will have a maximum temperature set of 43 degrees. Now it may, for some people, 43 degrees might feel quite hot, but it's not going to scald. Okay, so that's a safety feature that's built in. There are some shower products on the market, and some that Sonas have as well, that are non-thermostatic, and they have different functions. They can be used in showering applications and bath filling applications. They won't necessarily have thermostats built in. But again, a lot of the modern plumbing systems now are quite balanced in terms of, you know, feed, so you won't get fluctuations between hot and cold, so it's easier to regulate temperature, but there's no maximum temperature set in a non-thermostatic shower valve.
Okay, so I love this vanity unit. Great for putting your makeup on and your shaving gear and everything ready to go, isn't it?
Yeah, so this model here from our Dijon range, beautiful example of what's possible with wall hung furniture. So you can see in this particular application, it's got a shelf on the wash basin which is integrated, and again provides lots of practical storage. You know, people use different cosmetics and different products as they get ready, so there's a lovely opportunity to store. And you know, in this application we're showing some nice flowers, but again, that's really up to
and
the client.
also then for storage, isn't there? So I have this is all cut around the U-bend coming down.
Yeah, so this particular product, and it would be indicative of all the furniture that we sell, inside the drawers you will have a cutout, and that allows for the waste pipe and all the supply pipes, which again is, you know, from a practical point of view, they need to go somewhere, and then the rest of the drawer is divided up with this very neat handy divider, so again it keeps all your products from kind of falling around.
I love drawers because you can actually see, I know there's a press here as well which is practical for toilet paper and stuff, but I love the drawers because you can actually get in and take what you need and close the drawer. You're not rooting trying to find what's at the back, which is good.
It's probably a more optimum choice to maximise the space within the furniture. You'll notice as well on this particular model that it has a full extension drawer. So again, in some products the drawer might come this far, in this particular model is full extension. So again, I suppose the benefit of having the showroom here for visitors to come, touch, feel, see the product is that you can actually get up close and really get a sense of the product before you purchase.
And would you mind opening the wall hung unit there? Yeah.
Yes, so this is a wall storage unit. In this particular application, we've recessed into the wall. So while it looks to be this depth on the surface, it actually goes further back. So again, it's probably taking the concept of the niche and adapting it into a larger product. So again, this is something that if you didn't communicate to the builder early on, wouldn't be possible. The unit would sit flush on the wall, which is absolutely fine. The projection isn't particularly deep, but again, if you want to maximise actual usable space within the bathroom, you can recess the product back into the wall.
Brilliant. So you said we can compare things. Can we have a look at the toilets and compare them?
Sure, of course.
Isn't a toilet just a toilet?
Absolutely not, Gwen. So
Right.
what I'm going to do here, Gwen, is I'm going to focus on this particular product, which is a range called Resort. And this would be indicative of how we like to present product as well in the showroom. Because we've got such a vast range, in a lot of cases we will present a family of products, so we can show you all the related products. But we mentioned earlier on about toilets and the various options that you have. So I already explained to you that the standard, close cover toilet is the kind of the majority of what most people will go for. But there's different options and different specifications available within that type of product. This particular model here that we're showing is what we call a standard height. So a standard height WC would measure 400 mil approximately from the floor to the actual rim of the pan, excluding the seat and cover. In this particular case, this is what we call a short projection model. So this measures 600 millimeters from the back of the pan to the very front. So again, for small compact spaces, it gives you a little bit more floor space.
Oh yes, so this one here sticks out. If I'm using the line of the tile, this one sticks out way further than that one.
So if you take a product from the same family,
Yeah.
which is also from the Resort family here, okay, so this particular product is what we call a comfort height, okay? So the main difference here is the height from the floor to the rim of the pan is 450 mil. So the advantage for a comfort height pan is that accessing the product on and off is actually a little bit easier. So it's more comfortable to sit on.
So sitting on and off, and also I suppose one of my bugbears is a lot of our measurements would have been based on measurements that were taken in the 70s. So you said you're 6'3" earlier on, I'm 5'8". It's not the usual from back then. So this is probably more, I think every teenager I see now is over 6 foot, and guys, and the people are growing all the time, so it's probably better to have that little bit of height, is it?
Yeah, we're certainly seeing more and more models being developed in a comfort height option. It's not going to be required for every application, but for a lot of consumers, the comfort height gives, I suppose, an added feature. But what I was also going to illustrate was the difference in the projection. So you can see here, this would have a standard projection, which would be closer to 650 up to 670 mil. Another advantage of the modern toilets, and I had mentioned this to you earlier on, was about quick release seats.
Yes.
So again, hygiene and maintenance is really important. So to be able to get access to...
Do that again.
So
slower, please.
Okay, so that pops the seat back on. Okay, so when you're in the kind of the cleaning regime for the product, obviously you've got the fully shrouded design, so ceramic goes all the way back. So it's nice, smooth contours, no kind of areas to get kind of dirt and grit caught in. And then when it comes to cleaning around the pan, there's a couple of features here that I'd certainly want to highlight. So again, just to show you the quick release function. So you can take the seat off, keep the seat clean around the hinges, and then pop it back on. The other really nice design on this particular product is it's a rimless design. Okay, so if you can just look closely here, what we have is a distributor. So water will be pushed from the cistern through this distributor and it runs around the bowl, but the actual rim of the toilet is fully exposed.
So you've nowhere to put
There's
it.
no hidden rim.
Yeah, so you've nowhere to try and clean under and little grooves.
Precisely. So rimless technology is becoming more and more common. So within the Sonas offering, there's many versions available, but this one in the Resort range is a really good example. So you can see here how clean it is. It's very easy to access, so your cleaning regime gets all the germs away, and it's a lovely clean finish.
And I know everybody knows I'm the brand ambassador for Sonas, but I know a couple of people, when we've shown them this, have told us that they're going to dishwash their toilets, which is a bit worrying, but it's always an option.
Sure.
But at least you could take it off and actually really clean it, which is the important bit, than trying to get in and out, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other good thing as well about design is that a lot of the designs of toilet seats now are becoming standard. So again, a big bugbear for people in the past was that they would buy a toilet which came with a dedicated seat. So in many years after they've installed the product, if there's ever a problem and the seat breaks, they struggle to get a replacement that will actually fit the product properly. All of the products now that we're designing, they come with either a round seat or what we call a D-shaped seat. So this is something that you can pick up as a replacement from Sonas or in any retailer, and it's going to fit the product.
So we have all of these toilets. We have the different ones. We have some flat toilet seats as well. And then this is what you were talking about earlier on. Is it about for the bathroom, the toilet side to be wall-hung and mounted? And how many kilos?
400 kilos.
400 kilos, so there's absolutely no problem, because people do have a fear that it's, you know, tenuously attached to the wall and it's going to fall if they sit on it.
Sure.
So there's no fear of that then. So this is what's actually hidden behind, is it?
Yeah, so this is what we call a fast fix frame. So this is a fully integrated system. It's made from steel, obviously supporting the product both on the base and at the back is essential to get that weight capacity to work. But the frame itself then has a built-in concealed cistern, and this is fully accessible from the finished tile, and I'll show you some examples around the corner. But you've also then got your flush pipe and your waste pipe, and it's all built in. So this goes in at first fix stage. So it goes into the void or the cavity that you have. You'll then slab with plaster, you'll then tile, and then you'll have supporting rods which go in, and you'll notice that there's two positions on either side. So depending on the pan, there's different positions on the back of the pan. So these are made to be kind of flexible.
And can I hang
universal.
this at my wall hung or my comfort height as well?
So
or?
again, the frames, this particular frame here would be designed to go into an application where you have a full height void, and you can set the frame at different height positions. So there's a range of measurements. So if you want to achieve a comfort height position,
Yeah.
you can actually raise the frame up to accommodate that, or if you want to have it at a standard height position, you can do that as well.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Brilliant.
This piece that's sticking out, obviously this is just a protective guard, so this will be cut back depending on the thickness of the tile that the
So
client
it
will
won't
select.
protrude
It won't project
out.
in this situation.
Okay.
And if I can just take you around here just to show you the various options in flush plates.
Sorry, we're trying to socially distance and do this. There's
No.
a bit of a dance going on in case people are wondering why.
Sure. So again, with the product you have the frame itself, and you'll notice that there's a different height in this particular frame here. So again, in some applications, a client may want to have a wall hung pan and maybe under a window, or in a situation where they have a wash basin on the same run. So again, there's a height restriction. So you have a different frame with a slightly
So they
different
could have a
configuration.
ledge across the top of this
Precisely.
and the sink,
Precisely.
all the same, and then
All-
still achieve the built-in look. And okay, brilliant. And you have the black flush plates then that match the black showers that we were looking at earlier
Yeah,
on.
so again, just to tie it all back together, so obviously polished chrome is probably the most popular version, but if somebody wants to have a white option or indeed a black option to kind of
And we're
match back in.
back to that little thing we mentioned earlier on about looking for kind of squares and rectangles versus circles as well.
Yeah.
So you've offered both options so we can tie it in lovely.
Yeah, so again, if you're going for a square angular kind of look, you might want to consider this particular model. If you're going to go for a round, maybe soft curves, you might go for the option with the two buttons. And again, the plate is designed to offer a full flush, which is a 6 litre, and a half flush, which would be a 3.5 to 4 litre.
And is that pretty much standard in all the toilets that you have?
It's a legal requirement that all toilets that are installed work on a maximum of 6 litre, and in the majority of products now it comes with a dual flush option, so you have a half flush or a full flush.
I know we started early this morning to try and beat the rush, but can I have a look at the show?
Of course you can, yeah.
So, sorry, the warehouse. So, that's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, so Sonas, I suppose, probably have a strong reputation in the trade for stock. So the warehouse itself is 117,000 square foot. We've got 11,000 pallet positions, and we're currently running on a 24-hour basis to keep up with demand.
Are you?
Yeah, so
Wow.
we have a team of 28 operatives working in the warehouse, and they're, I suppose, delivering our promise of next day delivery. So a key for Sonas is to have first time order fulfillment, and we run that at about 95%. So that's the metric we measure.
So
on
what
a
does
daily
that mean?
basis.
95% of the orders
So
that
if you,
come in?
yeah, so if you select a product from the Sonas brochure, you've got a 95% chance that we will have that on the shelf ready to ship overnight for next day delivery.
Wow, that's some achievement. isn't
Yeah, but
it?
it's a big commitment to, I suppose, service is really important for Sonas, and trying to make the whole experience as seamless as possible. So for the consumer, the showroom, and the advice that we provide here is a great starting point, but eventually that product will be purchased through one of our retail customers around the country. And again, they do so much for us as a
So to
business.
clarify that as well, you don't sell to the public then?
We don't invoice directly to the public,
No.
so we are what we call a B2B business.
Right.
But because the brand, I suppose, is evolving, we want to ensure that we're communicating directly with the consumer as well to give them the advice around our products. So we work hand in hand with the retailer.
And then they go back to whatever part of the country they're in and they can order from there.
And they can order for a local retailer that supports the Sonas brand, and that retailer will order the product from Sonas and we deliver it direct to the store. that's how it works.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having us in. It was really informative. I highly recommend, as a brand ambassador anyway, but I genuinely do highly recommend people come in, try the products. There's loads we haven't even touched. We've just come down, maybe would it be even a quarter or less of the showroom. So we might, will you walk me out maybe another little way just so we can have a little look along the way. Actually, we might take just a quick detour look while we're walking under all these beautiful showers into the traditional space.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Oh wow. So this is all the traditional products that you have.
This is our Raspberry collection, which is probably designed to be more traditional design, a bit more vintage in its aesthetic. So for the vast majority of consumers, a contemporary design product is what they will select. But there is a cohort of customer who likes the period style and something more traditional. So Sonas also offer a full collection from ceramic wash basins, toilets, baths, all the taps, coordinated products like heated towel rails, accessories, furniture. It's the full offering.
I mean, we even managed to get the modern kind of feel with a lovely traditional piece.
Yeah, so
it's
really
not easy, clean, and
for sure. So this is what we call a back-to-wall pan. So in behind the unit you will have a concealed cistern, but this is a really nice way to illustrate having a back-to-wall pan, but using the space for storage as like a vanity. And then this is what we call a semi-recessed basin. So the semi-recessed basin sits partly on the counter and partly protrudes from the counter. Alright, so really nice finish. Probably growing in demand actually. There's a real move towards that kind of elegant traditional product as well. And this is of course, reminiscent of the really old style toilets that people might remember from, many years ago. So this is what we call a high level cistern. So yeah.
And isn't that a lovely way to finish on our gorgeous home, to have such a lovely piece, which is very, very evocative, as you say, of what was around a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah, but made on all the modern standards of performance, so it's still efficient, easy to maintain.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Richard.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.